Bowl week continues with the 23rd annual Insight Bowl from Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium. All right, thank you, Mark, and welcome everybody to Tempe, Arizona. Beautiful night here at Sun Devil Stadium. We're just underway. Iowa received the opening kickoff, started at its own 20-yard line, and they just converted on 3rd down and 7 from the 23 on a 10-yard pass from James Vandenberg to Marvin McNutt. Iowa 7-5, Oklahoma 9-3. The Hawkeyes playing without their leading rusher Marcus Coker, suspended for a violation of the student athlete code at the University of Iowa, unspecified violation. Brad Rogers, the intended receiver there from Vandenberg. So it'll be running back by committee. Could be any one of 4 running backs tonight to whom Vandenberg will be handing the ball, Matt, and those 4 have a combined 38 carries for the year coming in, whereas Coker had 281 himself.
Yeah, just talking to the coaching staff this week, they said, you know, they really don't know what to expect in this game. So the key, however, is going to be this offensive line.
Jordan Canzeri is the tailback now, following Brad Rogers, and Canzeri fought his way back near the line of scrimmage, ridden out of bounds by Jamarcus McFarland and David King, 2 members of that defensive line for Oklahoma.
They just got a nice big push up front inside King and McFarland. And if that interior of that Oklahoma defense, if they can control the interior of this Iowa offensive line, that will bode well for them. They don't really have they have one guy who's a pass rusher, and that's Alexander on the outside. The rest of them, they're going to have to work to get things. 3rd
down and 11. Iowa just converted on 3rd and 7. Vandenberg out of the shotgun. Throws incomplete, looking for Marvin McNutt, who was the Big Ten wide receiver of the year, and they'll need a big night for him tonight without Marcus Coker. Now 4th down.
Jamel Fleming, when you look at these guys, Fleming is probably a little bit better athlete than McNutt. He's a faster guy. McNutt has to run perfect routes here in order for him to be able to get to where he's going to go tonight in terms of getting open.
Eric Guthrie to punt to Kenny Stills. Ryan Broyles was their punt returner, leading active punt returner in the nation before he went out for the year with the knee injury 3 games ago. Line drive punt. Stills let it bounce, thought about fielding it on the bounce, and then got away from it. And it's downed at the 25 by Zach Derby. So here comes Landry Jones, junior from Artesia, New Mexico. We mentioned many believe he's had a disappointing year. That's hard to believe given that he's 4th in the country in passing yards per game, and he's thrown for 4,302. But the touchdowns are down, the interceptions are up. His play has been inconsistent. Mel Kiper the other day on SportsCenter said he was the most disappointing player in the country this year.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far, but he needs help. But he's going to have to carry this offense here tonight.
Tosses it right away to Roy Finch. And he goes out of bounds across the 30. Gain of 5, banged out by Sean Prater. Let's take a look at tonight's Impact Players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Finch is now their main ball carrier after they lost Dom Whaley, who was their leading rusher midseason, to a broken ankle. Stills is their leading receiver without Broyles and without Jazz Reynolds tonight, both out due to injury. Stills is very talented, 58 catches on the year. Finch spins ahead for a yard. James Morris, Thomas Nardo combined to upend him. After a 1-yard gain, 3rd and 4 for Oklahoma, playing without Ryan Broyles. Tore his ACL in their win in Norman against A&M after setting the all-time record in college football at this level with 349 career receptions. James Hanna, the tight end, in motion. Landry Jones with plenty of time, throws it in the flat. Trey Frank stops short of the 1st down, and an excellent tackle by the linebacker James Morris, their leading tackler for the year, sophomore from Solon, Iowa, right down the street from the University of Iowa.
Yeah, you're going to watch Morris. He's going to just jump to the outside because he's got that outside flat in coverage. That's just good, disciplined defense. Staying where you have to be, letting the offense come to you. Let him throw underneath, Sean, and then make the tackle in front of you. Well done by Morris.
3 and out for Oklahoma on the Sooners' first possession of the night. Tress Way to punt. Oklahoma State came after him in the last game of the regular season and came close to a couple of blocks. He got that one off with ease, and Micah Hyde made a fair catch at the 21-yard line. 46-yard punt, no score here in Arizona. Iowa and Oklahoma, each team has had it once. Each team has punted. And the Hawkeyes begin 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line. James Vandenberg, the quarterback, will go out of the shotgun. Jordan Canzeri. They faked it to him. Vandenberg, a pass that was batted down, incomplete. Here's Heather Cox.
Sean, Kirk Ferentz and Bob Stoops share a very deep Iowa bond and over 30 years of friendship. Bob Stoops was actually a defensive back at Iowa and then was an assistant coach there for 5 years. Kirk Ferentz was the O-line coach while Bob was a player for 2 years. The two actually interviewed for the head coaching job at Iowa on the same day. Now, just how strong are Coach Stoops' Iowa ties? Bob met his wife Carol at Iowa, and their 3 kids yell, "Go Hawkeyes," every game day. Bob insisted that chant won't happen today, saying, "We'll battle tonight, then tomorrow our family can go back to being Iowa fans."
Yeah, they remain very good friends. As a matter of fact, last year when Kirk Ferentz brought the Hawkeyes here for the Insight Bowl against Missouri, Stoops and the Sooners were out here to play in the Fiesta Bowl across the Valley of the Sun. Bob Stoops and Carol and the kids came over to this game dressed from head to toe in Hawkeye garb. Missouri Athletic Director Mike Alden didn't like that when he saw them. Fellow members, of course, at the time of the Big 12. Vandenberg on 3rd and 10 throws, intercepted by Jamel Fleming, and he's chopped down inside the 15-yard line by Riley Reef, and then a late flag is thrown.
Well, it looks like he just missed, or maybe the receiver maybe didn't follow through in his route.
Pac-12 officials tonight led by Jack Wood.
After the play, personal foul, number 16. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
And the quarterback James Vandenberg called for the personal foul after just his 7th interception thrown this season.
Good protection. Has the ability to be able to set his feet and make the throw. And then on the outside, McNutt looks like he's going to anticipate him coming back to the inside. That didn't happen. Fleming's there, and it's a pick.
2nd interception of the year for Jamel Fleming. 1st team all Big 12 this season and last season. He was the defensive MVP of the Fiesta Bowl last year over the University of Phoenix Stadium. Their win over Connecticut. Blake Bell is in a quarterback, hands it off to Trey Millard. Will play some fullback and some tailback tonight. He got stopped inside the 4-yard line by Christian Kirksey and LeBron Daniels. This has worked very well. They went to this Bell-dozer package with big Blake Bell coming into quarterback mid-season. And he has scored 10 rushing touchdowns in about half a year. Jaden Burr, the linebacker, has come in as part of this package as well, leading the way for another touchdown. The 11th rushing touchdown of the year for Blake Bell. He was tied with Charles Thompson for the Oklahoma record for rushing touchdowns by a freshman quarterback. And now Bell has that record all by himself with his 11th score of the year, 4 yards out.
They're not trying to hide anything, Sean. They line up with a bunch of blockers. They say we're going to run the football, and then they just go ahead and do it.
Talking about how Landry Jones hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in the last 3 games. This Bell-dozer package certainly is a factor in that as well. When they get down here, they don't throw it in, they run it in. Michael Honeycutt the extra point. 2nd play after the interception. Oklahoma scores. Blake Bell, and it's 7-0. Blake Bell has now scored a rushing touchdown in each of the last 6 games for Oklahoma. And the Sooners lead 7-0. Needing just 2 plays to go the 10 yards after the interception thrown by James Vandenberg, who's been off target so far tonight. If that continues for Iowa, it could be a very long night. Hawkeyes 2 touchdown underdogs coming in. Patrick O'Hara kicks off. bit shorter than his first, and down to Keenan Davis at the 10. They get banged down to the 26 by Trey Millard. There's Jordan Canzeri, true freshman, part of the running back by committee tonight. He's out to the 29-yard line. They list him at 172 pounds, and that might be a little generous.
Yeah, it might be soaking wet with a rock in his hand. I watched him at practice the other day. Sean, he was so little. I mean, it was blatantly obvious. He had his helmet on. It was the biggest thing on his body. That was it.
Even James Vandenberg, his quarterback, referred to him as tiny. We met with James yesterday. Draw to Canzeri. And he has a first down. He is small, but Mike Daniels, their defensive lineman who tries to tackle him in practice regularly, said he's very strong, compact build, and hard to knock down with very good balance.
Looks like a wiry type of guy. He's got some toughness. And the coaches really liked him. I mean, he pulled his hamstring in the season, so he didn't get the kind of playing time that he would have liked. But when he was practicing and showing what he had, he was a guy who gave him some quickness, and he catches the ball well out of the backfield.
7-yard gain. Got him a first down. Play action pass for Vandenberg. Had time but couldn't find anybody. Now has a receiver, and it's Canzeri who got belted along the near sideline by Jefferson, but he held on. At least according to the officials. Travis Lewis over there arguing that Canzeri was juggling the ball across the boundary. At least for now, it's a 12-yard gain.
He was looking for McNutt on the top side. That wasn't there, and he finds Canzeri. Yeah, that's a catch.
I was going quickly, trying to head off a possible replay review. Canzeri gets hit hard again. And it's a gain of 2, but they're across midfield to the 49. Here's Heather.
Sean, you guys are talking about the true freshman Jordan Canzeri. He's had so many reps this season in a game that Kirk Ferentz said, I have absolutely no idea what to expect. The key is getting him out of the locker room. I'm afraid he's going to be so nervous. Once he gets his first couple hits, he should be fine. But guys, I watched Canzeri during warmups, and he was constant movement, fidgeting, bouncing up and down, side to side, teammates coming up to him, constantly drinking water. This is a ball of nerves, guys.
Short pass after the play fake. Vandenberg, the C.J. Fedorowicz, the tight end, and he has a first down to the 40-yard line of Oklahoma with a 9-yard gain. Marcus Coker, far and away their leading rusher for the year, 115 yards per game, but suspended for tonight for a violation of the University of Iowa student-athlete code of conduct. He's the second leading rusher in the Big Ten this year behind Monty Ball. But James Vandenberg said Coker's bigger and stronger, but the replacements tonight will be faster, quicker, and better in the passing game. So he's trying to emphasize the positive. Deep throw, a little too long for Marvin McNutt, with Jamel Fleming running in coverage. And Coker did by far the bulk of the ball carrying, 281 rushing attempts, most in the Big Ten. The next highest total on their team, 18 carries by DeAndre Johnson.
Now he's a workhorse, and they'll hand him the ball, and he kept on going. He's a power guy, mostly an inside running type, not the quickness that Canzeri brings him right here.
And he is performing very well. Down to the 28-yard line, 12-yard gain and a first down, and it's reminiscent of a year ago when Iowa came to this game without Adam Robinson, then their leading rusher. He was suspended. Coker took his place and starred in their win against Missouri.
Well, you heard Heather talking about being a ball of nerves and being anxious and trying to get that first hit out of the way. Well, after Jefferson lowered the boom on him, I would think that would get rid of the nerves right there.
And the drive continues. 11th play. Canzeri squirts down to the 9-yard line. Well, last year Coker was the stand-in for Adam Robinson, and all Coker did was rush for 219 yards for Iowa in their upset win over Missouri. And Kirk Ferentz was saying this Insight Bowl is almost scary how similar it is to last year. Iowa 7-5 coming here, an underdog against the team Missouri that had a junior quarterback who was thinking about going to the NFL draft. Blaine Gabbert. Gabbert had a big night. He went in the NFL draft. Jones in the same situation tonight for Oklahoma. He hopes the results the same this year. Canzeri again ran into Tom Wart, sophomore middle linebacker.
Well, I like him. Tom Wart plays with good intensity. He runs really well. He's got some good toughness. What I like about him is one of the few linebackers in the NCAA that'll hit you with his face. His face and hands first. And that's the significance, Sean, because a lot of guys play with their hands too much and they don't shock the blockers. This kid, he'll shock you. He'll shock you, and he has a little violence in him. He'll get off blocks. He's fun to watch.
Originally from England, moved to this country to Texas in the 5th grade. 3rd down and 4. Iowa just inside the 9. It's a running play, and it'll depend on where they spot it down. They're going to mark Canzeri short of the 1st down, and Kirk Ferentz has the decision to make. 4th down and less than a yard after the run by the freshman from Troy, New York. Kirk Ferentz said, we got involved with Canzeri very late. He was going to go to Villanova, an FCS school. And at the last minute, change course. They are going for it. They're trying to snap it quickly.
See the umpire stand over the ball. That was the right thing.
And they won't get there. Canzeri had no shot. Wart the first to penetrate, and then a host of Sooners right behind him. Kirk Ferentz irate about something on the sideline.
I want you to watch Marvin McNutt. Nobody covered him. There's no one out there.
And Fleming ran on late, so that might be what Kirk Ferentz is hollering about.
Exactly.
In the 2nd quarter, the Insight Bowl begins with Oklahoma leading 7-0. On to the 2nd quarter, the Insight Bowl here in Tempe, Arizona at Sun Devil Stadium. Oklahoma leading 7-0, despite the fact they ran just 8 plays from scrimmage. In the 1st quarter, it had 7 yards of offense. Interception. Set up a short touchdown run by Blake Bell. And they go to some trickery as it's Franks who can fly, and it's well defended by LeBron Daniel.
Well done by Daniel, because he's getting blocked by the quarterback, and he fought him off and was able to get outside and put an edge to that thing. Watch him work off Landry Jones. Makes the play.
We want to get Franks down. He was a 2-time 100-meter champ in high school in Texas. And a lot of fast guys in the state of Texas. Jackson the reception. There's a 1st down for Oklahoma. Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator at age 70, retiring after tonight's game. This is his 497th game as a college assistant coach. And there's Mike Daniels again. He told us yesterday, we want to send Norm Parker off with a win, and Norm Parker won't let us. Norm keeps telling the players, it's not about me. Go out there and win it for yourself. But they are so eager to give Norm Parker a victory in his last game.
Mike Daniels plays with great leverage. He's not a tall guy. They list him at 6'1". They may be a little lion right there, but he is a powerful man, and he's been coming off the ball inside. They have not stopped him all night.
He's been hampered by sprained ankles all year long. The month before the bowl game has really helped him. The toss back to Brennan Clay, and Morris stood him up. Still 10 yards short of a 1st down after a 9-yard loss on the sack. And Norm Parker, one of the terrific defensive coordinators in college football for a long time, 13 years, the entire Kirk Ferentz era. On the staff at Iowa. Named the National Assistant Coach of the Year by the American Football Coaches Association this year, and a vote of his peers will be honored at their convention. 3rd down and 11. Jones likely changing the play. Has time and throws, caught, 1st down. Emil Jackson again, true freshman from Arlington, Texas, who has been getting much more playing time with the injury to Broyles and now to Reynolds.
The whole thing starts because they're able to protect, giving him time, and when this guy has time to throw, he can carve you up. He's playing a zone back there, and with that time, you're able to find the holes in that thing.
15-yard gain. 11 catches this year for Jackson. 8 of them have come in the last 4 games since Broyles went down. Play action fake by Landry Jones, and it's through the hands of Kenny Stills with Sean Prater, first team All Big Ten cornerback, in coverage.
This is more what I was expecting to see out of this Oklahoma offense. That one's just off the fingertips of Kenny Stills. But when this offense is on, it's on the shoulders of Landry Jones. Landry Jones, and he's very, very capable. And he's got some young receivers out there. They're just going to have to pick up the slack for what Broyles left.
Jones has not decided if he'll come back for his senior year. Tonight could play a part in his decision making. Finch the catch. He's down to the 25. It's a lot like last year, as we mentioned, when Blaine Gabbert came here from Missouri. He wasn't sure if he was going to come back for his senior. He had a huge night in the loss to Iowa. Really impressed the NFL scouts who were here. Wound up moving into the top half of the first round of the NFL draft. And Bob Stoops says when this game is over, they'll go through the process, get the information, the projections from the NFL people about where Landry Jones is likely to slot in. Our Todd McShay has him as the 17th overall player, which would put him in the middle of the first round. Might have been helped by the fact, certainly was, that Matt Barkley didn't come out.
Well, he's a talented guy, and there's no question he has the talent to play at the next level. The question is, does he want to improve? Can he improve over next year? And then there's always the risk of injury.
Don't you think he has plenty of room for improvement?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
And Jones on target to James Hanna, the tight end, down to the 21-yard line. And of course, Bradford had the nightmare. He got hurt after coming back, but he still wound up being the #1 overall pick in the draft.
And you watch Landry Jones, there's a lot of things to like about him. He can't make all the throws, and he does it easily. Poise under pressure. At times he's good, and times that's what gets him, Sean. There's sometimes he gets a little bit of happy feet, and I think that's where he can get better for the next level.
He doesn't get a lot of pressure. They throw it quickly. And had very few sacks given up this year. Now he's going to run for the first down. He got belted, and there will be flags thrown by every official on the field at Jordan Bernstein.
That's a tough one right there. Just as he's going down, Bernstein is coming in for the hit. And it's one of those plays that as an official, you really have to make the throw. But as a defender, it's a tough, you don't quite know where to go. And so you're always preaching to your defenders to be aggressive.
Personal foul, defense, number 4. Penalty will be half the distance from the spot of foul, the end of the run, automatic first down.
Yeah, well, that's helmet to helmet.
Yeah. Now they're going to make that call.
Yeah, they have to.
And
that's exactly what they're trying to get rid of in every level of football. Leading with the helmet, cracked him right in the helmet. Jones goes out. Apparently not because he's wobbly. This is where they go to that Belldozer package with Blake Bell, who scored the only touchdown of this game from 4 yards out. Jaden Bird, the linebacker, number 55, over there helping out as a blocker. But without Aaron Ripkowski, one of their fullbacks tonight due to injury. And Bell belldozes his way inside the 4.
And the other guy in that is Trey Millard. And that Millard is as versatile a player as you're going to see in all of college football. He can play tight end. He can be a running back. He can play fullback. He'll be your H-back, go back and forth and catch the ball out of the backfield. That kid's a good football player. He's going to play for a long time.
Just a sophomore from Columbia, Missouri. They look to the sidelines for help. 2nd and goal, midway through the second quarter. Oklahoma already leading 7-0. Here's Bell trying to turn the corner. He walks in untouched. He is a touchdown scoring machine for the Sooners.
It's just power football. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You have this, the big Belldozer right there.
Great block by Miller.
Yeah, Miller he always does a good job.
Flatten Sean Prater.
He'll take you physically up top if he has to, and if you try to play him off with your hands, he'll take out your knees.
Michael Honeycutt, freshman place kicker. One of the bright spots of this season, according to Bob Stoops. And his extra point's good. Really just one sustained drive for Oklahoma, but the defense set up the other score. Bob Stoops leads his alma mater 14-0 as they head for the locker room. And here's Heather Cox.
Sean, thank you. Coach, without Marcus Coker, you vowed you'd still be a run-first team. How would you assess the way your running back by committees performed in the first half?
Well, I think those guys are doing a good job. You know, we've made some mistakes that have hurt us a little bit, but those guys are working hard.
James Vandenberg, your quarterback, 9 of 20 in the first half. What do you need to change to get him to be a little bit more efficient?
Well, you know, I think we have to help him out a little bit, try to protect him a little bit more, and then work harder getting open. And, you know, we have some opportunities. We just got to cash in on them.
Coach, thanks so much.
He's exactly right. They've hurt themselves with some key mistakes. Halftime at the 2011 Insight Bowl, 14-0. Oklahoma leads Iowa. Now to the studio. Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz, the H&R halftime report. We welcome you back to the 2011 Insight Bowl on ESPN. The Iowa Hawkeyes taking the field for the second half, trailing Oklahoma 14-0 at halftime, despite the fact that James Vandenberg and the Hawkeyes had a slight edge. Statistically, it was certainly a defensive battle in the first half. Oklahoma leads 14-0. They had just 89 yards of offense, 66 of those 89 yards coming on one touchdown drive. Really the only drive their offense had all night long. The defense set up the other short touchdown. Welcome back to Tempe, Sean McDonough and Matt Millen. Rejoined by Heather Cox in a moment. What do you look for in the second half?
Well, I think for Oklahoma, I think it's got to be Landry Jones. We talked about it at the start of the game. You got to put the ball in his hands. He's been their playmaker all season, and I think you go with that. I think it's been a defensive game, really, for both sides, Oklahoma and Iowa. And I think when you're talking about Iowa, it's got to be Vandenberg. Vandenberg's got to pick his game up, and he's not going to be able to get it from Marvin McNutt because Jamel Fleming has taken McNutt out of this game, so he's going to have to go other places.
Just one catch for McNutt. Needs 3 more to tie the single-season Iowa reception record. Needs 5 more to tie Darrell Johnson-Koulianos for the all-time career reception mark. Mike Myers kickoff down to Trey Franks. The kicker slowed him up just long enough to prevent a touchdown. Jason White made the tackle. Mike Meyer, the kicker, slowed him down just enough to stop the former 100-meter dash champion in the state of Texas in high school from going the distance.
Well, you said it right, because when he's out in the open field, there's nobody going to be able to tackle him. Nicely done by the kicker to be able to force him back inside. Kind of stumbled a little bit, and the play was made.
52-yard return. Landry Jones 7 for 11 in the first half for 70 yards. Still no touchdowns. Hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in the previous 3 games. And again, every time they get down there close, they go to that bulldozer package with Blake Bell, who scored both touchdowns tonight. Jones, after play action, going deep to the end zone. Dropped. Kenny Stills couldn't catch it. It looked like Micah Hyde actually jumped a bit too early. He was landing as the ball went off the shoulder of Kenny Stills.
They get in that stack, and all they're going to do is just, he got him, that's a nice route. He forced him wide. Looked like Hyde, like you said, he jumped early. It may have distracted him, but you got to come down with that thing.
No doubt. And that's been the case for Stills. He's a lot of talent, but he's been inconsistent. Pistol look now for Oklahoma. Landry Jones throws short to James Hanna, the second team all Big 12 tight end. A short gain to the 38. And here's Heather.
Guys, look for Bob Stoops and the Oklahoma offense to be much more creative in this second half. He said we got behind the chains way too often, took way too many sacks. We've got to find a way to trick Iowa's defense a little bit more. As for their quarterback, Landry Jones, who got a helmet-to-helmet hit, he has been cleared to play, doesn't have any concussion systems. What he does have, though, is a chipped tooth. Bob Stoops said he kind of likes it. I even saw his running backs doing some shadow boxing and calling him Rocky. Look for Jones to be pretty tough here in the second half.
Here comes the rush. Jones steps up on 3rd and 4, wide open. Roy Finch, nice move inside the 25 and pulled down by Jordan Bernstein and Sean Prater at the 20. 17-yard gain, first down Oklahoma.
That's the second time that Roy Finch in this game has come clean underneath. And they're running zones, and he's coming, and in order to run that route underneath, it takes a little bit of time, and he had the time to be able to throw it. But Finch out of the backfield comes out and just runs opposite of where the play action is taking him.
Clay went out to the right. Jones looked that way and then threw it over the head of Kenny Stills sophomore from Encinitas, California, covered by Sean Prater.
And that's on Landry Jones because Stills had position inside, and he had the corner on his inside, his outside hip, and a better throw is 6 points right there. Had the protection.
Oh.
Second and 10 from the 29. 3 wide receivers on the field. Jones up and down the line of scrimmage with some instructions. Your all-time leading passer, over 12,000 career yards, adds to that total. Nice catch by Camille Jackson. Landry Jones said he was very impressed by Camille Jackson in all those bowl practices, and he's had a nice night. 3 catches tonight, this one for 22.
Well, that's a heck of a throw. Micah Hyde, the corner, they were playing kind of that 2 with that safety on top.
They come up to the line quickly. Clay, looked like he had the face mask of Micah Hyde as he delivered the stiff arm and went out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
He got him right by the face mask. You're right. Micah Hyde not too thrilled with that, so he went there to go tell him about it. But you got to like that as a runner.
Jones in there, throws, and there's the elusive touchdown pass. First in 4 games for Jones, and it goes to Trent Rattery, the backup tight end. Landry Jones throws the touchdown pass. One play after what could have been a penalty on the offense for Clay grasping the face mask of Micah Hyde. Jay Norvell there, the co-offensive coordinator, another Iowa grad coaching against his alma mater. He was a fine defensive back at Iowa in the mid-'80s. Michael Honeycutt the extra point midway through the 3rd quarter. Oklahoma leads Iowa 21-0. (21-0) Oklahoma after a 10-play 64-yard touchdown drive in which Landry Jones went 4 for 5 and threw the touchdown pass. 1 touchdown in each quarter for OU. Patrick O'Hara kicks it away. Jordan Bernstein to the 25.
You know, Sean, getting back to the hurry-up stuff and the pace, and I think one of the things they try to do with Vandenberg is to try to get him into a flow, and that's something that he's not been able to do in this game. And part of that flow with him is Marvin McNutt, and it's been a slow night for McNutt.
In his last game at Iowa, trying to set the single-season reception record and the career reception mark. It's not looking like he's going to do it tonight unless he gets much more involved. Nice tackle by Ibaloye on Jordan Canzeri in the flat, just a 1-yard gain, and a frustrating night for Marvin McNutt.
Well, they've tried to go to him outside. He's been covered by Fleming for the most part.
And
Fleming, and then and then when, you know, down in the goal line, the frustrations came out when nobody even lined up on him. Thrown to him, you can see 1 reception for 10 yards. Hasn't been a big night for him tonight.
One of the balls they threw to him was intercepted by Jamel Fleming that set up the first score. Another short completion. This one to C.J. Fedorowicz. Tackled by Fleming and Travis Lewis. Gain to the 41-yard line, 3rd down and about 5.5.
You know, you've mentioned a couple names here tonight in Demontre Hurst in the 1 corner and Jamel Fleming. I think both those guys have played pretty darn well here tonight. Fleming, for the most part, has been over McNutt, and he's kept them quiet. Hurst on the other side, 2 good corners here.
4-man rush. Vandenberg with time, and there's McNutt into Oklahoma territory to the 43-yard line. 16-yard gain by McNutt, his 2nd catch of the night. The senior from St. Louis who came to Iowa as a quarterback.
Yeah,
he said to Fleming, if you're going to hold me, I'm going to shove you.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's how you have to play. And you know, you're going to be physical with a guy, you got to be physical back. Looks like he got hurt at the end of that thing.
He's off to the sideline.
Holding his right shoulder or something.
He wasn't excited when he was turned into a wide receiver at Iowa at first. Grew to enjoy the position over time. Brad Rogers the ball carry, and Fleming another tackle. He already has the single season record this year with nearly 1,300 yards, and he has the career reception yardage mark as well. Set the touchdown record this season and the career mark, but he doesn't have the single season reception mark. He's 2 away from Kevin Casper's 82, and he does not have the career reception mark. 5 away now from Darrell Johnson-Koulianos. Pretty good players, Casper and Johnson-Koulianos. Vandenberg throws, and a nice catch made. Ruled a grab by Stephen Staggs, junior from Oskaloosa, Iowa. Walk on, just his 5th catch of the year.
Ooh. That's a close one.
Vandenberg starting to heat up now. 4 for 4 on this drive for Kirk Ferentz.
Marvin Nutt is still moving that left shoulder like it's bothering him.
Nearing 3.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Vandenberg under duress to throw it away, and a late flag thrown in the secondary.
Holding, defense, number 28. Foul was against an eligible receiver, 10 yards from the previous spot, and an automatic first down.
So Travis Lewis on Fedorowicz right there, and that, yeah, I would say that's a hold.
Great look at it. Our outstanding crew, led by our producer Bo Garrett, our director Mike Roig. Outstanding group of technicians and production folks, whom we've been privileged to work all season long. Canzeri out to the 21-yard line. Gain of 3. Here's Heather Cox.
Sean, Marvin McKnight's tough night's been compounded by injuries. The first play of the game, he came off holding his wrist, now bothered by that shoulder injury. You guys have been talking about. The medical staff tested his strength and cleared him to return, but he's still been shaking it. During the break, he tried to raise it above his head. He hasn't yet been able to do that, and you'll notice they haven't gone to him since he injured that shoulder.
Seems frustrated. You have to think those records might be in his mind. We asked about it yesterday, and like all players, you ask about stuff like that, he just kind of shrugged it off. I actually had a funny answer. He said, I thought I had all the records already. But he didn't deliver that in as immodest a way as it sounds. Jordan Canzeri, a good run down to the 15-yard line. He's up to 59 yards rushing, but it's taken 19 carries to do it. 3rd down and 1. Big 3rd down here for Iowa. 2.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. They need to put it in the end zone.
You know, Sean, remember at the beginning of the game in the 1st quarter when they went for it down inside, and you asked me about that. And that's one of the reasons why I think you had to put points on the board right there instead of going for it.
Deep handoff. You just that play call stinks. It
good.
just stinks against this defense with all that speed.
And they've not had success getting to the edge. When they had tried to run laterally, Oklahoma's done a nice job of getting vertically up the field and getting pressure. When they've had the most success when they've gone directly right at them. And now you'd set up with this 4th and 3 or 4.
And a much tougher 4th down. That play's way too slow against a defense like that. They got stopped on 4th down inside the 10-yard line early in the game when they were down 7-0. Minute and a half to go, 4th and 4. 3 wide receivers to the left. Here comes an Oklahoma blitz, and the catch is made for a first down. C.J. Fedorowicz to the 11-yard line. Dragged Aaron Colvin along for an extra yard or 2.
Well, Fedorowicz makes the catch, but the play's made by Vandenberg because he's got somebody right in his face. He has to read that hot right away, and he does. The ball comes out, and it's right on the money. Well done by Vandenberg.
5 for 5 on this drive to get him above 50% for the game now. 14 for 27. for 122 yards. 1 minute to go, third quarter. 6.5-minute drive. Still ongoing for the Hawkeyes. Canzeri. That's what you're talking about, Matt. They've had much better success with those quick hitting runs.
Yeah, they have.
Than those slow looping runs to the corner.
And what Tanziri does in that read, it's inside, and you're looking. You're not necessarily following your running your lineman. What you're doing is you're watching the linebackers. If they flow fast, you cut behind it, and that's what he's had success with here. And that's really to his strength. He has a little bit of inside quickness.
They're marching, but they've used a lot of time. Final seconds of the third quarter. Vandenberg throws to the goal line, caught by McNutt short of the goal line, but he does have a first down. Demontre Hurst pushed him out of bounds. First and goal, Iowa from inside the 1.
Now he put a little mustard on this one. McNutt comes down with the catch. That's, ooh, I don't know. He didn't. The ball never broke the plane.
Yep, and he did have possession. 3 catches for McNutt, 1 away from tying the single season Iowa record of 82 held by Kevin Casper. The end of the third quarter. Oklahoma leading 21-0, but Iowa is at the goal line.
Today is the day. It's the day that I have always dreamed of.
Virginia and Auburn. The kicker's warming up, but they need a touchdown. Field goal at this juncture is going to do them very little. He's warming up. They hope for an extra point. Vandenberg retreating. Throws back into the crowd and got away with it. Touchdown, Fedorowicz.
You said it right, Sean. He got away with it. And that's one of those throws. A lot of times this thing gets picked when you throw back. Starts off to his left, and coverage was there. Took it away. He redirects and come back to the other side, and Fedorowicz sits down. Gets the catch.
Third touchdown catch of the year for Fedorowicz. First touchdown of the night for Vandenberg. So it's a game with nearly the full fourth quarter to go. Mike Meyer, the extra point. Mike Meyer's kickoff down to the 6-yard line to the very speedy Trey Franks, who got stood up at the 27 and driven back.
Sean, we talked about James Vandenberg and how he got into a flow, and probably the biggest part of that flow was on that fourth down. It was a key, and he recognized that he was going to get pressure, and he had to get the hot read right away, and he's able to see it and get the ball out to Fedorowicz right away. And what that did is it led to this big throw again for 6 points.
He was very well coached by Ken O'Keefe, the offensive coordinator, who, like Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator, has been with Kirk Ferentz for all 13 years of his tenure as Iowa head coach. Jones out of the pistol, sent Clay out wide to the left. He made the catch and gets driven back by Kirksey and Nielsen with help from Hyde. Gain to the 31-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
That Kirksey, number 20, that's going to be a good football player as well. You know, you have Morris. He'll be back just a sophomore. This Kirksey kid, though, he can run. He has some good speed. He's going to have to get a little bit bigger, but Christian Kirksey, good instincts, good player.
Just a sophomore as well, out of Hazelwood East High School, the St. Louis area. He was coached by Mike Jones, the former St. Louis Ram, who made that famous tackle in the Super Bowl to save their victory over the Tennessee Titans. That's a good guy to have coaching. Anthony Hitchens made the tackle on Brennan Clay, a little bit short of the first down. Here's a big 3rd down now for Oklahoma, with Iowa within 2 scores, and they go back to Blake Bell on 3rd down and 2.
It has brought this Iowa crowd to their feet. They sense it.
There's 3 out of 7 tonight on 3rd down for Oklahoma. And a mediocre 3rd down team all year. They hand it off, and they're not going to convert. Franks drop for a loss. Kirksey again with help from Tyler Nielsen.
Big play, because Kirksey not only made the tackle, he took on the block first, worked off the block, and then made the play. Franks got the speed. They tried to cut him right there. Look at that. That's really well done. Really well done, Kirksey.
Big play from Norm Parker's defense. He has to be proud of the effort he's getting from this defense in his last game as a college coach. Here's Tress Way. Wow. Another bomb. He already had a 67-yarder to tie the Insight Bowl record. Here's Micah Hyde. And it's Way making the tackle. Well, tonight he's had a couple of very long punts and now a tackle. 59-yard punt, 17-yard return. The ball and momentum on the side of Iowa. The only previous meeting between these two teams, September 15th, 1979. Billy Sims, Heisman Trophy winner, 106 yards and a touchdown. Iowa's defense forced 3 fumbles to keep it close. Sooners finally wore them down, 21-6 on their way to an 11-1 season, a win over Florida State in the Orange Bowl for Barry Switzer. That was Hayden Fry's second game as head coach. They hadn't had a winning season since 1961 when he took over. And he was mad after that game because they were getting complimented for giving the Sooners a good game, keeping it close. Right. And Hayden Fry said, that's part of the problem right here. When you're getting congratulated for losing in close fashion, there's a problem. And there's a great picture from that game. That's Bob Stoops, better known as Bobby Stoops back in those days, flying through the air, trying to tackle Billy Sims. Jason White on 2nd and 5, first down, it appears, across the 31-yard line, tackled by Demontre Hurst and Ibiloye. Bob Stoops was a very good player at Iowa. Hayden Fry talked about he set the tone with his intensity on the practice field. All Big Ten defensive back 2 times, and the MVP of the Iowa team in 1982.
And he brought that same kind of intensity to this football team. And that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier about, guys, some of the guys leaving and not wanting to be there. And Bob Stoops' attitude, I love that attitude. And it's the way it should be for a football team. You don't want to be here, leave. Just move on.
And you can do that at Oklahoma because of the way they recruit. They are like a lot of the best programs in the country. They almost select more than recruit.
And some of the kids that are leaving are good. They're good football players. But if you're not,
they'll go get some more good ones.
And if you're not the right fit, then it's time to move on.
We mentioned he interviewed for the Iowa job at his alma mater, same time Kirk Ferentz did. Vandenberg throws, caught, McNutt out of bounds. And it's a first down. 13-yard gain. 4th catch of the night for McNutt. He's now tied the single-season Iowa record. 82 catches, tie with Kevin Casper for most catches in a season at Iowa.
Yeah, well protected and a nice route versus the zone there with Hurst just underneath. You get Demontre Hurst running up the field, they just come back outside.
One more, he'll have that record all by himself. A blitz from Oklahoma on 1st and 10. A lot of running room for Keenan Davis. And a nice move to get inside the 40. Tripped up by Demontre Hurst. 37-yard line is where they'll mark it. 18 yards, and the Hawkeyes are on the move, trying to make it a 1-score game.
And going to the hurry up. And I like that.
This worked well for them in that rousing comeback against Pittsburgh. Oklahoma rushed 4, and the throw's on target. Sliding catch. Cavante Martin-Manley, freshman, with a sliding grab for 21 yards.
And here comes Vandenberg. He's awake here from the middle of the 3rd quarter on. He's been dead on. He's had a couple of drops, but man, he's seeing the field right now, and the ball's coming out nice.
Iowa trying to make a game of it from the 16. Pump fake and a wobbly pass thrown up for grabs, and is it intercepted? No. Ruled incomplete. Broken up by Jamel Fleming. Jefferson dove. He thought he caught it. Keenan Davis, the intended receiver. And Jefferson's telling the sideline he caught it.
Ooh, it's all the way underneath in his stomach. Let's see if he.
No, that's not a catch.
That's a good call.
That's a good call.
Nice job by the officials.
Devontae Martin Manley, the motion man. 4-man rush. Vandenberg throws short and well covered again, and that's been a recurring theme. Fleming all over Marvin McNutt. 3rd down and 10.
Trying to get him across on that underneath route. Fleming has been all over McNutt. Fleming's played a very good game here tonight. He's tackled when he's had to tackle out in the open field. He's covered down the field, broken balls up. Big down right here on 3rd down, O'Shawn.
Wonder if it's 4-down territory with 8.5 minutes to go and down by 14. Field goal isn't a huge help. Blitz. Vandenberg throws short. Davis lost the football. It's ruled incomplete.
That's the 3rd or 4th drop he's had tonight.
Rough night, and it's been a part of his season.
The other
Fleming broke it up.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. Fleming reads this really well, but that's
it's very close to being a catch and then a fumble.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go for it here.
Yep, 8.5 minutes to go. Fleming, who was the MVP defensively of the Fiesta Bowl win across the Valley of the Sun against UConn last year. Really the best defensive player for Oklahoma again tonight. This might be the game right here. 4th and 10 with 8.5 to go, down by 14. Vandenberg throws. Davis held on, has a 1st down, and he lost the ball as he lunged for the end zone. And Iowa got it back according to the first indication from the official. And then Fleming gets up wanting a piece of one of the Hawkeyes. It is Iowa ball. Boy, Keenan Davis, even when he makes a good play, he almost turns it into a bad one.
Well, Keenan Davis comes back underneath there, just playing his zone. And he just does a fantastic job. Great effort. And that ball did come out, like you said, Sean.
And he got it back.
He got it back.
Was a fumble, though. He was in the air when that ball came out. 14-yard gain. Vandenberg under center. 2nd and goal from the 9. He throws it away. Does it seem to you that he has a clock in his head, and if there's a certain point he's going to throw it away, even if it looks like he has more time?
Yeah, I can't really tell, because where he was trying to go right there, Sean, there was no way he was fitting that in. Davis was he was covered all over the place, and to the left side there was coverage, so he just kind of got rid of it.
Well, for all the mistakes they've made, they've also a few times tonight come up with some key plays when they've really needed it, like the 4th down conversion a moment ago. Here's a 3rd and goal, 12th play of the drive. 4-man rush, screen, good call. Canzeri walks in. Touchdown. What a play call by Ken O'Keefe, and beautifully executed by the Hawkeyes.
Great call. You are dead on. That is a fantastic call. He just uses the aggressiveness of Oklahoma's defense against him. Watch Canzeri down here. So what you're going to do, screens are all about timing and feel. And the timing was perfect, and the feel was even better.
First career touchdown for the true freshman from Troy, New York, Jordan Canzeri. Mike Meyer makes it a 7-point game.
What a difference by James Vandenberg here in the 2nd half, John. It's like night and day.
Well, he's 9 for 20 passing in the half. Now 23 out of 42. And the tale of 2 halves for Vandenberg. We mentioned earlier in the year they rallied from 21 down to beat Pittsburgh. Now this is a much better opponent they're playing tonight. But in that game, Vandenberg wound up throwing for 399 yards and 3 touchdown passes in the final 17 minutes of that historic come-from-behind win. This one would be much more improbable if they could finish the job. There are some of the details from their win against Pitt back in mid-September in Iowa City. Iowa's won a bowl game after each of the last 3 seasons. Trying to extend that to 4 years in a row. Florida, Florida State, South Florida, the only other teams that have won a bowl game each of the previous 3 years. South Florida didn't make a bowl this year. Brennan Clay. Wow. He had just the kicker to get around, and then they would have had to race to get him to the turf, but he stumbled as he went to make one last move. 35-yard return by Brennan Clay.
Looks like the 35-yard line was the tackler, because he had room. It was well blocked. There's Millard right there, and he kind of faked himself out.
Well, regardless of the outcome, this has been a defensive performance by the Hawkeyes that Norm Parker can be very proud of in his final game of a tremendous career as an assistant coach in college football. Stills the catch, delivers a stiff arm. It gets yanked down by Prater, but it's a first down just shy of the 49-yard line. Landry Jones out throwing for an 11-yard gain.
So if I'm Oklahoma right now, I said it in the first half. I'm going to say it again. I put the ball in Landry Jones' hands and let him go ahead and preserve this win for you.
And they're not sitting on the lead here. They know they're in a ball game now. They're trying to build on the lead with 6.5 minutes to go. Brennan Clay running left. Run down by Tyler Nielsen, but another quality gain, about 8.5. With a sophomore from San Diego. He, Stills, and Tony Jefferson all came together from the San Diego area to Norman, Oklahoma.
You know, Sean, I think this Oklahoma offense is at its best when they're attacking. And I think when they're trying to push the ball down the field, that's when they play their best football.
There's 221 yards of offense for Oklahoma tonight, more than 300 yards under their season average. And there's Clay, stood up. And we talk about Norm Parker. I thought one of the best defensive coaching jobs I've ever seen, Matt, was a game you and I did together, the Orange Bowl.
Yes.
When they played Georgia Tech a couple of years ago. They were the underdog in that game, and he had them totally ready to shut down that Georgia Tech option offense.
That triple option, they took it away. Big play right here.
And Blake Bell is in for Oklahoma at quarterback on 3rd down and 2. Just 3 out of 9 tonight. Only 42% for the year, 51st in the country. Bell has it and more. Big play by the freshman quarterback down to the 36-yard line with 5 minutes to go.
Just power. It's just a power. That's all it is. Back inside, and keep in mind, it's when you have that quarterback and he's your runner, you gain an extra blocker in numbers because you have to account for the runner, and this time it's the quarterback. Normally you don't account for the quarterback.
Like a defensive end, his dad Mark Bell played 6 years in the NFL as a defensive end. The Seahawks and Colts. Millard leaps over a tackler and is very close to another first down. It looks like he has it. Finally got him down. The fullback Millard showing his great athleticism.
Now, we've talked about him a bunch. Yeah, this guy's the real deal. I think if you made him a feature back, he'd put up some numbers for you. I think he's got it all. Mark Bell was a heck of a football player, incidentally.
Yeah, Blake's dad.
And Mark's twin was also.
Yeah, Uncle Mike, Blake's
he
uncle.
was a heck of a football player at Colorado State, and then with the
12
Chiefs.
years in the NFL himself. It's down to 4 minutes to go in regulation time. Brennan Clay gets them 2 more, perhaps 2.5. Sean Prater made the tackle. Oklahoma in field goal range, trying to get it back to a 2-score game. They led 21-0, but Bob Stoops' alma mater has come back.
Now they bring in the Belldozers, so if you're Iowa, you're going to tighten up. You're going to put as many people in the box, drop those safeties down, and force Bell to have to make a throw.
He's only thrown 4 times this year. He runs and gets stuffed after a 1-yard gain. Thomas Nardo, senior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, walked on for 4 years. He paid his own way, out-of-state tuition, about $20,000 to $24,000 a year.
Good tough kid too. Good tough kid, and he battled injuries all. You know, this whole defensive line has. But good disciplined player inside. Formed a nice tandem inside with Mike Daniels, and both of them healthy here tonight. Daniels played a heck of a game, and Nardo, of course, the big tackle right there.
Landry Jones back in, 3rd down and 6. Iowa hoping for a stop and force a field goal try. Jones, nice step up into the pocket. Now he runs and doesn't get the first down. Got about 3 to make it a shorter field goal from here to be about a 35-yarder for Honeycutt. And Iowa uses a timeout. It's first with 2:33 to go. They have 2 left. Been a disappointing year for the former #1 team in the country, but a win would be their 10th of the season. They'd likely finish in the top 15 in the rankings. Honeycutt up and good. 35-yarder to put them up by 10 with 2:28 to go. Honeycutt's already set the Oklahoma record for field goals by a freshman. Adric O'Hara's kickoff down to Jordan Bernstein. And he's tackled by James Hanna after Trey Millard slowed him down. A couple of very important players for Oklahoma running down to cover that very important kickoff. Delay a game on ESPN. We have had a little crash of our Skycam onto the field.
And that is held up by cables.
Well, it was. It is no longer.
Exactly.
And that's not a cheap piece of equipment.
No. That is the first for me ever.
I've never remember seeing this happen, and thank goodness, because it could have landed on somebody.
I think it may have hit McNutt there.
Yeah, it got him on the bounce, though. I mean, come on. Who hasn't? The wire got tangled up.
He was wired on that same shoulder.
We can laugh about it now, but that's got to be a little scary.
Yeah.
Monte Martin-Bailey getting out of the way as well. And here comes the cable.
Heck, you look up, you might think it's a Soviet satellite falling out of the sky or something.
Kind of a pathetic end for that Skycam, isn't it? Now being dragged off the field. He's at the 42. Not great speed. Across the 45 and heading for the sideline, maybe to stop the clock.
Yeah, but this wire right here is still going that way.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much, the wire goes down. Look out, now they're afraid on the Iowa side. Phil Parker over there. I'm getting away from this. Actually, he's trying to help. The technician has been happier.
Yeah, this guy right here, not a happy guy.
Well, when the night began, he wasn't really thinking that the Skycam was going to fall on the field.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, Marvin's all right. I mean, it was already kind of a frustrating night for him as it is. Now, the outcome may no longer be in doubt unless Iowa can really pull off something miraculous. But they might want to get McNutt one more catch or 2 more catches, because he needs 1 more to have the single season reception mark at Iowa all by himself. And needs 2 more to break Darrell Johnson-Koulianos' career mark. McNutt has 172 career catches. All right, they've cleared the wire now, and Vandenberg and Iowa ready to go from the 21. On the handoff, Jason White playing in his final game for Iowa straight ahead. Tom Wart made the tackle. Iowa will go quickly. 2 timeouts left. And that's out of bounds. Keenan Davis ruled to be juggling it as he went across the boundary.
Yeah, Fleming was reading that one too. He had a nice break on that ball. Good anticipation. Had that ball been thrown just a tad behind, Fleming may have gotten his hands on it.
Third and 4, 2:01 to go. Three-man rush after the Sooners showed blitz. Vandenberg throws incomplete. Wow. Hurst splattered Martin Manley.
We've talked about these corners all night long. We've talked on the one side with Jamel Fleming, but Hurst is just as good a player. And, you know, this secondary from Oklahoma, they've got some players. Have him inside with Aaron Colvin, another good player, and Von Harris is the other one back there. They've got some good secondary people. Big fourth down here.
Yeah, this is it. Iowa doesn't convert. It's definitely over. 4th and 4. Vandenberg flushed, running for his life, and didn't get there. Got to the 30, but was stopped by R.J. Washington and Tom Ward. Washington's had a really nice game. And it's a turnover on downs. Oklahoma will take it over at the 30-yard line. And a frustrating and disappointing year for the Sooners is going to end with a win. And Vandenberg is slow to get up. He made a great effort to try to get to that first down marker, but came up a little bit short.
They went 3-by-1 initially, and he wanted to go to the left side, but the coverage was there by Demontre Hurst. And so now he has to try to run for it. And Washington, like you said, and then Ward is the guy who put a little punctuation mark on the end right there.
We're still taking a look at Vandenberg. It'd be a shame if he suffered an injury that's going to linger into the offseason on the last play of his season.
And Sean, our good friend and great coach in his last game, Norm Parker.
Yeah. He said he wouldn't be emotional. There's Norm. You know he's proud of the effort tonight. 70 years old. Has battled diabetes for a long time. He had a lower leg amputated last season. Began coaching in 1965, St. John's High School in Ypsilanti, Michigan. He told us yesterday those games were as fun, as intense, as nerve-wracking as any of the big games he coached in college. Long time at Michigan State with George Perlis. And a trusted aide to Kirk Ferentz throughout his entire time. You know, Kirk was talking yesterday about Bill Brazier, who was a longtime defensive coordinator for Hayden Fry, and just really the pillar of what you'd want in a defensive coordinator. And in Norm Parker, Iowa's had another one for the last 13 years. He's a good man who's battled an awful lot in his life, and we wish him well.
And you know, the one thing about Norm is it was always a common sense approach, and he always had a great way of getting what he wanted done across to his players, because it never really matters what the coach knows. It matters what your players know, and he's done a great job his whole career of being able to express and communicate exactly what he wants done, and then he usually gets it done.
Never about him. No hint of an ego. Didn't want today to be about him. He said many times he couldn't retire because his wife doesn't want him to be home. But he said yesterday he knew that it was time to go. At age 70, with the health issues that he's battled, he just doesn't feel like he can give the Iowa program the 100% that it requires and has a right to expect. So he's going to head off into retirement, and here's wishing him a very happy and healthy retirement, because he's one of the truly nice people we've met.
Yep, one of the good guys in all of football.
Here comes the Gatorade bucket for Iowa grad Bob Stoops. You're going to win some games with that group. They're turning that whole Iowa program around. There's Bell into the end zone. Putting the finishing touches on a remarkable last 6 or 7 games of the season for Blake Bell. Starting in Kansas State when they unveiled that Belldozer package. And he hasn't stopped running into the end zone ever since. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. He scored 4 in their loss at Baylor.
Same power football. Millard on one side and Hayden Bird the other one. The linebacker lined up as a fullback is just good power. Beat you with numbers.
Well, the extra point up and good by Honeycutt. Well, that makes it a 17-point margin. Well, Cesar, we talked with him the other day. Yeah, it's a disappointment. We expect to win the Big 12 title. Whoa, good move.
Stoopsy gets away with it.
Well, it's interesting to see what happens now in the coming years, because Oklahoma State doesn't look like it is going away anytime soon. That really has become a battle to see which is the best team in the state of Oklahoma. Damon Bullock, the return to the 25-yard line.
Head coach Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. And they've been recruiting very well, and his brother here.
Mikhail Gundy's on the Oklahoma staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're going to go to John Winkie, the backup quarterback, after Vandenberg was shook up on the last play, junior. And don't go to the right.
Stay off the ice.
Yeah. They send a receiver right over by the ice, and it's picked off by Wart, who managed to avoid the ice. Now he skates back toward the near side of the field and wisely goes down at the 40-yard line. Well, they got him. They got him that time. Now there's more ice over there. And you know what? They made us feel very guilty with that long delay to get the wire that was 90 yards away off the field. I think they should stop this game until they get all the ice off the field. I mean, that's a hazard.
That was an assault right there. They just went with, they took those Gatorade buckets. They were hitting somebody with that stuff. Didn't make a difference who it was.
Iowa's season is going to end at 7-6 after winning a bowl game after each of the previous 3 years. That streak comes to an end. Landry Jones with the final play of the game. You wonder if it's his final play as a Sooner. That'll be a big storyline in Sooner Nation in the coming weeks. Long-time pals, Ferentz and Stoops share one last word.
Larry Jones will have a decision to make, but I think he might be better off coming back.
I would agree with you. 3 straight bowl wins now for Oklahoma, and they finish the year at 10-3. Here's Heather Cox.
Sean, thanks so much. Coach, congratulations. 10 wins, a probable top 15 ranking, but you were the first to admit this has been an emotional and challenging season. Because of that, how much more meaningful is tonight's win?
Well, it's great to end this way for the seniors. It gives you momentum into the offseason for the guys coming back. Yeah, you know, and winning 10 games isn't easy. There's not a bunch of people that always do it. So anyway, it was fun also to, not fun, but to beat my alma mater is a little special too.
Indeed. In fact, you were just saying congratulations to my fellow Hawkeyes on a great season as you were congratulating some Iowa players. How does it change the complexion because you went to Iowa, because you've known Kirk Ferentz for over 30 years?
Well, and so many people. I was there 10 years. My brothers all went to school there, played there. So our family's very close with many, many people there. And I've always been very grateful and thankful for my opportunities there. And I know I'm not the head coach at Oklahoma.
All right, obviously we lost Heather's microphone. Apparently the cable was attached to the Skycam. Final score of tonight's Insight Bowl: Oklahoma 31 and Iowa 14. If they still let us, we'll see you Monday night for the Fiesta Bowl. Oklahoma Sooners are your Insight Bowl champs. Coming up next on ESPN, stay tuned for Sports Center and live post-game coverage of the Insight Bowl, including the award ceremony, which you won't want to miss on ESPN3. For Matt Millen, Heather Cox, our entire crew, Sean McDonough saying so long. Now for Sports Center.